Juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility.
The judge in Blake Lively's case just slapped down their psychopathic request.
And the court said no.
Breaking news, Justin Baldoni just got a big win, meaning Blake Lively got a big loss. Are her lawyers dumb?
It's intensely personal. It's getting more personal. They're going to discover more information that's going to make them angry. They're out to salvage their reputation, so there's not going to be an easy way to walk away from this and say, okay, let's just call it a day.
You are not able to hold a logical thought, but guess what? I, as a judge, I am able to hold a logical thought. So we're going to slap that down. You obviously cannot do that.
What if I told you Blake Lively just walked into a courtroom thinking she'd crush her enemy, only to get legally body slammed so hard her entire Hollywood empire started crumbling? That's right, the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni legal war just hit a fever pitch, and it's uglier than anyone imagined. This isn't just a lawsuit anymore. It's a public execution of Lively's credibility, with a judge, leaked tapes, and even a former CIA agent tossing fuel on the fire. Stick around, because this Hollywood showdown is about to blow your mind.
And, so I think there could be some argument about whether it was leaked and shouldn't have been leaked, and should they have the information or what it may be. But no matter what happens, this is a damning quote.
It is so clear Blake's case is falling apart. She's destroying her cred. Ryan Reynolds, too.
The judge in Blake Lively's case just slapped down their psychopathic request for 2.5 years worth of every message that Justin Baldoni and Justin Heath and the PR agents have ever sent to everybody, plus location data. We knew that was going to happen.
Let's start with the courtroom bombshell that's got everyone talking. Picture this. Blake Lively struts into court, flanked by her high-priced lawyers, ready to bury Justin Baldoni once and for all. She's armed with demands so outrageous they sound like a movie script. Except this time, she's not the star. Judge Louis J. Lyman takes one look at her case and doesn't just deny her requests, he dismantles them like a stand-up comic roasting a heckler. He calls her subpoena overly intrusive and disproportionate, basically saying, "Blake, you're not the FBI. Sit down." Witnesses say she was visibly shaking as her legal team scrambled to keep up. This wasn't a hearing, it was a humiliation session, and the crowd couldn't get enough. But what exactly did she ask for that got her slapped down so hard?
Blake Lively obtained all of these text messages through subpoena. Okay, what's subpoena? You can only issue a subpoena if you have an open legal case. So you have to have a valid legal case. I can't just issue a subpoena to, the New York Times.
She wants different rules for her than she wants for Baldoni and his team, which I don't think the judge will agree with.
So it kind of makes them look like they're trying to take that video now that it's out and kind of spin it in a different direction.
They weren't the first to do this. It was Blake Lively, it was Ryan Reynolds, this was their strategy, and now they kind of want to put the genie back in the bottle. But guess what? The genie does not want to go back in the bottle. The genie likes to be free, okay?
Here's where it gets insane. Blake didn't just want a peek at Baldoni's life. She demanded the whole book. We're talking 2.5 years of his phone records, text messages, emails, location data, even his doctor visits. Yeah, you heard that right. She wanted to know if the guy had a headache in 2022. Her team tried to justify it, claiming they needed every scrap of his existence to prove their case. But the judge wasn't buying it. He shut it down faster than you can say Hollywood ego, pointing out her lawsuit only started in December 2024. Why the heck does she need stuff from 2022? It's not just overreach, it's delusion on steroids. And when that gavel dropped, her whole strategy took a nosedive, but the real gut punch was still coming.
Your lawyers are stupid. It's like he's like being nice here. He's like, your lawyers are really stupid.
It just blows my mind how dumb Blake Lively's team is, and how just, I guess, egocentric, maniacal that she thinks that she can tell the world, you didn't see what you actually saw with your eyes. It's insane. This is the audio Blake and Ryan's agent seemingly didn't want you to hear.
I wonder if you could tell us about a little bit of a mess that I gather you've been involved in.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with this one.
Do you have notes on it?
Oh, yeah. Those are the two things I said to myself.
Enter the leaked audio that flipped this saga upside down. Imagine a recording so damning it could end careers. And it's real. In March 2025, a bombshell dropped. Ari Emanuel, the CEO of WME, one of Hollywood's biggest powerhouses, caught on tape admitting Blake and Ryan Reynolds personally blacklisted Justin Baldoni. He didn't just fire him, he mocked him, calling him Baldoni or whatever his name is, like some high school mean girl. This wasn't speculation anymore. It was proof Lively and Reynolds didn't just play dirty, they rigged the game. The podcast hosting this confession mysteriously scrubbed from the internet. Coincidence? Hardly. Someone tried to bury it, but real journalists don't play Hollywood's rules. Copies got out, and now it's game over for Blake's innocent act. And that's when her so-called friends started running for the hills.
Seems insurmountable. It seems like this case cannot be settled.
I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public? He fired him. I'm a ride or die. That's why he did it. Because he basically said, okay, fine. Yeah, Ryan and Blake, I'm going to go with you. So you did that. You destroyed this man's life rather than wait. Blake says she's so glad they did, but now she wants all other footage to not come forward. And we're supposed to be like, yeah, you go, girl.
Speaking of running, where's Hollywood when Blake needs them? Nowhere. Her A-list squad, Taylor Swift, Gigi Hadid, the whole girl power crew, vanished faster than you can say PR crisis. Taylor, who once called Blake her ride or die, hasn't posted a single cryptic lyric in her defense. Gigi? Silent. Even Ryan Reynolds, the king of witty tweets, turned into a ghost the second this hit the fan. No I support my wife post, no sarcastic jab to lighten the mood, nothing. Hollywood smells a sinking ship, and Blake's the Titanic right now. Witnesses are even refusing to testify, terrified of her influence behind closed doors.
The judge makes a point of like, well, then why do you need 2 years worth? In her own suit, she alleges this campaign started in August. So why the reach for 2.5 years? Was nice to see the judge really sort of acknowledge that. Here, this is the part I'm looking.
Recent filing, we can now see that Ryan was panicked in general.
This dispute, these words that were said by Lively side had a clear, immediate negative impact on Baldoni's career. I think we're seeing now with this quote is WME absolutely got rid of him because of these things that were said. And so now he's got a clear line to get damage support.
Think about that. She's the victim, yet people are scared to cross her. Funny how that works. But when the going got tough, she didn't just call a publicist, she called the CIA. Yeah, you heard me, CIA. In a move straight out of a spy thriller, Blake hired Nick Shapiro, a former deputy chief of staff at the CIA, to spin this mess. This isn't your average PR guy. This is a dude who helped cover up the Hunter Biden laptop story, a master of gaslighting the public for the elite. Why does an actress need an intelligence operative? Because this isn't about clearing her name, it's about waging war. Right after Shapiro joins the team, the New York Times drops a hit piece on Baldoni. Perfect timing, right? It's not a coincidence, it's coordination. She's not just fighting Baldoni, she's trying to rewrite reality. But here's the kicker. Even a CIA spin doctor can't outrun the truth, and Justin's about to prove it.
Bad situation that Baldoni or Baldoni, whatever his name is doing. And
It's an effed up situation. Whatever, Baldoni, whatever his name is doing. Whatever, he's your client. What a scumbag you are.
Their psychopathic request.
A lot of people who are even a lot less powerful than Ari Emanuel would have the power to do that. So that doesn't surprise me.
And that's why you think, like you mentioned before, that you think this video is the most damning evidence that Baldoni has so far.
I think so. And it's better than words.
Because while Blake's scrambling, Justin Baldoni's standing tall. That courtroom smackdown wasn't just a loss for her, it was a massive win for him. The judge didn't just reject her demands, he authorized a live audio feed for the next hearing. That's right, no more PR spin, no more TMZ leaks to twist the narrative. The world gets unfiltered access to this train wreck, and Baldoni's team is loving it. His lawyer roasted Blake's pathetic attempt to call this a win, pointing out she's not protecting privacy, she's hiding lies. With every move, her credibility's crumbling, and Justin's emerging as the guy who took on Hollywood's golden girl and won. But the best part? We haven't even hit the meltdown yet.
They didn't record the show.
If you have somebody who has a significant amount of power in the industry and has the ability to tell stars not to go on your podcast in the future, and has general ability to make life uncomfortable for you and ask for a favor, you're more inclined to do it, right?
Okay, so I was able to read the amended complaint, which, by the way, it's very abnormal. It's almost 180 pages, 400 and some odd paragraphs. Complaints are not normally that long, but this one has to be for public consumption.
Picture Blake in that courtroom as it all fell apart. Witnesses say she tensed up, whispering furiously to her lawyers, her hands trembling as Judge Lyman torched her case. She walked in like a queen ready to deliver the killing blow, but by the end, she was a deer in headlights, powerless, exposed, and out of moves. Her legal team stood there, probably regretting every choice that led them to this dumpster fire. She tried to spin it, claiming it was a strategic retreat, but nobody's buying it. This was a meltdown for the ages, public, personal, and permanent. And with that live feed coming, the world's about to hear every humiliating detail straight from the source. So, what does it all mean?
Whatever, he's your client. What a scumbag you are.
That was what the fight was over.
So Blake Lively, her team wanted to have a rubber stamp that said attorney's eyes only, and they wanted to use it in their discretion on any document they wanted.
Yeah.
And that presumably would make it an attorney's eyes only or attorney's eyes only designation, unless
I think this is inching towards that percentage of lawsuits that don't settle. We could very well see a trial in this case.
Yeah, not only did she want a protective order, but she wanted the right to unilaterally designate documents as attorney's eyes only. And that's a higher designation than confidential, because what it means is only the attorneys could see those documents, not the parties.
Here's the twist. This isn't just a legal loss. It's the end of Blake Lively as we know her. Her Hollywood crown's slipping, her friends are gone, and that leaked tape's the nail in the coffin. She thought she could bend the law, the media, and the public to her will, but reality hit back harder than ever. Justin Baldoni's not just winning, he's exposing her. And with the next hearing going live, there's no hiding. Will she double down? Will Ryan finally break his silence? One thing's certain, Blake's downfall is unfolding in real time, and the worst is yet to come. Hit that subscribe button because this saga's only getting wilder.